It's rodent time on TV8. I've got Peter here. Peter Sunnison joining us from Walking Mountain Science Center. How are we doing, bud?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
I always love talking to you because as I'm always doing my introduction or as I'm kind of just starting to chat and you get all anxious and you're ready to start chatting.
I'm ready to start talking.
You're ready to go. Obviously, different things all the time. Today we're talking about rodents. We're talking about rats and mice and
beavers and porcupines and squirrels and chipmunks.
Porcupines are considered a rodent too.
Yep, absolutely. So one of the kind of key indicators for a rodent are the gold enamel on the tooth. So you can kind of see it here. This is the bottom jaw of a beaver, and you can kind of see the gold enamel on that tooth. Very similar to the enamel that we have on our teeth, but it is incredibly, incredibly hard. So it's much harder than our enamel, and that enables the rodents to chew on bone, chew on wood, something that all rodents like to do.
So the golden enamel then is a key. So if you can get a rodent to smile, you're going to know if it's a rodent or not.
Exactly. If you see a little furry animal out there, say a marmot, which are notorious smilers, when you're above tree line, marmot will smile at you. You'll see those bright golden teeth.
Okay. And do rodents, what do they do in the wintertime?
So that is a great question. They do all kinds of different things. Squirrels do one thing. Different types of squirrels do other things. Chipmunks do another thing. So chipmunks are not true hibernators. They do go to sleep for the winter. It's what we call torpor. So they will actually wake up in kind of their drowsy state and eat, kind of like I do sometimes on the weekend.
Like
in the middle
most
of the
of
night.
us do.
Exactly. Whereas ground squirrels, kind of the Wyoming ground squirrel, is what we see most often. I don't know if any of your viewers walk around Avon Elementary or that backstop over there, the baseball field, covered in ground squirrels. Look like prairie dogs, commonly get referred to as prairie dogs. It's a ground squirrel, and they are true hibernators. So they are probably mid-July to mid-August. They're starting to pack on that weight, and this time of year they are heading to sleep.
What are whistle pigs?
Whistle pigs, that is a great question. Whistle pig is a colloquial name for a marmot or a woodchuck.
Okay.
I have heard it more commonly referred to a woodchuck as a whistle pig. That's because I spent more of my time on the East Coast,
okay.
Midwest, but people also refer to marmots as kind of a mountain whistle pig or a mountain woodchuck. So
those things that we see in the rocks along the rivers, and they're sitting there staring at you, and there's a couple of them, and they make those funny sounds.
That is a yellow-bellied marmot.
Those are marmots.
Yep, and so then this time of year, what we're hearing above tree line and in the scree fields is another little beep. Those are the pika. Marmots have pretty much already gone to sleep. They're already hibernating. We are seeing the pikas, who are active all year round, beeping away at us now. When we're hiking through the woods, we're hearing the chicories and pine squirrels, kind of that loud chirp and trill.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people think that's a bird, but those are the pine squirrels, which are also active all year round. They're
sending out warning messages to everybody and saying, I'm over here, don't bug me?
Saying, I'm over here, my seed stash is over there. Why don't you go ahead and walk around it? So they'll make seed stashes, 4 or 5 different ones around kind of their base tree in what we call middens. And those are big piles of pine cone shavings. So you see the little scales that have been shaved off of a pine cone.
Yeah.
And every now and then you'll see a big hole in them. And that is where those pine squirrels have stored their seeds for the winter.
Oh.
And pine squirrels are incredible. Our forest here, predominantly lodgepole, very hard cones that need fire to be activated. And what they've realized is that pine squirrels in heavily predominant lodgepole forests have an 18 to 25% stronger jaw muscle than squirrels in fir or heavily spruce forests because they need that extra strength to get
all
into
the
the
working
cones.
out, like they've developed those muscles over time.
They've been chewing on pine cones for generations, really hard pine cones for generations, and they have stronger jaw muscles to deal with that.
Then, real quick, how about do we have fishers around here and those type of animals?
We do, very, very seldom seen. So kind of what, you see squirrels pretty commonly. From what we see, when we see a squirrel running through the trees, we think a marten is something that's going to hunt that squirrel. So a marten is more elusive than a squirrel, better climber, faster in the trees. A fisher is even more elusive and a better climber than that marten. Okay. So a fisher is going to be hunting a marten is going to be hunting a squirrel.
Oh, that is the what do they call it? The survival of the fittest, right there, right?
You got it. Whoever's fastest in the woods usually wins.
And the ones that turn white in the wintertime, what are those?
Those are weasels.
Those are the weasels.
Yep. So we have short-tailed weasels. They'll go totally brown in the summertime. One of their adaptations for camouflage. Sometimes referred to as stoat. Or ermine, depending on their their coat color. That is generally a marketing term because people find it hard to sell weasel coats. So ermine is their Latin name.
Beautiful.
So you can call them that, and that's how they sell the
Peter,
fur
good.
coats.
Good, buddy. Thanks for the rodent information. Walking Mountains, they always have great stuff. They also have Fright at the Museum, October the 22nd. Go to Walking Mountains website to check that out. We've got a little bit more of the show coming up. I'll give you the details on who's going to be here tomorrow after the break.